Chapter 14. We didn't start the fire. Kaelin POV. I'm home, I should be happy and joyful, too bad it's all overshadowed by this unyielding rage. Loghain moved Anora somewhere. I practically destroyed the castle looking for her. My heart is still thumping. Anora, please be safe. A hand grabbing my shoulder snapped me back to Aemon's meeting room. Following the hand, I found Alistair giving me a concerned look. Taking a deep breath, I nodded, trying to give an aura of confidence, but my heart wasn't in it. We'll find her. Ha! What kind of older brother am I who needs his younger brother to give comfort? Father would be proud of the man Alistair has become. I wish Father kept Alistair here with us. After Mother passed, it was only us. Well, me. Father was always busy running a kingdom. Still, he's here now. Right. Any news on Nick? For the 2 days we've been here, we have gotten the reports of Nick's efforts in making proper housing for Aemon's troops. It was mind-boggling seeing Nick work from the tower. Walls appeared straight from the ground. It only looked like it rose about an inch, but I was on top of Fort Draken at the time. I had the crazy idea that Loghain trapped his daughter in the tallest tower in the land. But while we didn't find my love, we did find a damsel. Riordan, a warden sent from Orlais to find out what was going on, was locked up in Fort Draken the moment he showed up. We stuffed him with food and put him to bed. He and Sereda have made hundreds of barracks made of reinforced earth outside the city. Duncan answered. He concluded that the mages, elves, and dwarves would also need a place to rest when they arrived. Lanaya has already called and they are moving toward the city. With the way she sounded, we estimate her arrival time around 2 weeks. And the dwarves? Dagna tells us that a large group of about 15,000 dwarves have left Orzammar and are heading in this direction, but unlike Lanaya, they don't have a phone to give us a clue on their arrival time. We conclude that it would take a group that big at least 2 to 4 weeks, depending if everything goes correctly. Mages. They're going to need Templar escorts, and will only move out when Denerim is stable. Mages in a volatile place like Denerim was at the moment could cause panic. That's annoying. How long will it take the other lords to get their men and women here and ready for battle? Depends, answered Aidan. We need to first end the Landsmeet. The lords would then have to call their bannermen, and depending on where they might be, it could take up to a month, maybe more. And the dark spawn, growing. What a simple, ominous answer Theron gave me. I have been using Nick's globe map to keep constant surveillance on Ostagar and other known locations we knew had dark spawn. There were a lot of women at Ostagar. Theron's words made my blood go cold. Feck, they're making noise. They're getting bolder. More and more dark spawn raiding groups are leaving the woods. I'm not sure how long we have before they go on the full-on march. Did Nick's golems not slow them down? It's possible, but we believe the vanguard was indeed the bulk of their army. The archdemon made sure it had enough dark spawn to gain a foothold on the surface, and the ones in the dead trenches were most likely reinforcements. Nat answered. So, the dark spawn can't retreat. They can, but it would mean they would have to give up the surface, giving us time to prepare. I doubt the archdemon would do that. It's probably growing its forces, and with the movement of so many people it may realize we are gaining an army. Aemon added. Do you think it will attack before we are ready? It already did. Aemon's words brought me up short. What? When? Where? Why was I not made aware of this? Aemon raised his hand, calming me. It happened a few days ago. Tegan contacted me. A small force of about 150 dark spawn attacked Redcliffe, but thanks to Nicholas's golems and walls they were beaten off rather easily. They are no longer sending scouts but full battalions. Fortunately, that seems to have been the only one. The golems may have given the archdemon pause, but it won't last long. Damn it, I released a long breath. Tell me about the city. I've been away for some time. Well, everything's in a little bit of a panic. Zevran answered. I had him investigate the city. With his master assassin skills, finding the city's underworld would be a snap. Gangs and miscreants have been gaining strength and organized crime is on the rise. There is also some kind of plague in the alienage. Plague? Shouldn't this be bigger news? So they say. Some Tevinter, healers, appeared around the same time. Zevran clarified. Slavers. The words nearly made me go into a blind rage. Those monsters, in my country, in my city. No. I'm not sure the elves don't like talking to outsiders. Neria, Nat, Leliana, and I could do some investigating as Nick remodels the alienage. You have full permission to do what's necessary if they're slavers. Try and find how they got in the city and who let them in the alienage. Zevran nodded. How are the people? Happy for your return. Leliana answered. Loghain has been cracking down on the civilian population. We believe he's trying to crack down on the rising crime. But it was so mismanaged that very little was done, and a lot of money is missing. Inside job, you tell me. The head of the movement was Rendon Howe. Aidan growled at the mention of that traitor's name. It took all his willpower not to sick his griffin and rip him limb from limb. Ayla and Alyssa weren't much better. People are hoping you can put things back to normal. The request board in the marketplace is jammed packed with people's complaints and help requests. Why isn't anyone solving these problems? Any time I passed through there, some local children are completing job requests. Most children help their household by completing these complaints and running errands for the people in the market, at least the ones approved by the city guard. There's a tax on everything. For putting up a request, tax. Taking a job, tax. Wanna buy some food, taxed. Buying more than one bag of food, tax. People are ready to riot. We need to ease the tension. People are going hungry, and hungry people don't think straight. Alyssa answered. I can give you one guess who's getting all the tax money. How? What of the nobles? Loghain has many friends, but just as many enemies. But what's strange is that even some who are well-known enemies of his are on his side. Aemon answered. We believe some foul play is involved. Unfortunately, we can't seem to piece things together. When is the Landsmeet? With my arrival, it should begin 2 weeks from now. We are meant to come together and vote for king. Aemon huffed. I don't understand. Is Cailan not married to Loghain's daughter? Will he not be king again? Sereda asked. Not necessarily. If Loghain becomes king, he could remove Cailan from any legal right to the title, and let's not discount the fact that he could hire an assassin to kill him. Aemon pointed out. How? He hired me. Zevran answered. Right. Anything else I should know about? Looking at my war council, as Nick put it, they shared a look. What's with the look? There has been some rumors. Leliana started. Rumors? Of what? Someone has been fighting the criminal underworld for a couple of months now. Zevran continued. They appear in the dead of night, fighting crime, beating up gangs, saving innocents. They even leave a calling card. He tossed a card on the table. A crow. Raven. Zevran corrected. This individual has been a major thorn in the criminal organizations. Word around the market is that they are the spirit of the people's outrage and injustice. We have a Batman in Danerim. He shrugged. In all the stories, comics, TV series, and movies I researched. Researched? Is that what you call lazing around the couch watching TV for hours? Morrigan teased. I'm a king. Kings need rest. If it happens to be in front of a television while a hero marathon is happening, who's to say? Anyway, from my research, they need money and lots of it. Fighting crime isn't cheap. Please don't take life advice from cartoons. Duncan begged. But the gangs they took down were rumored to have a lot of money, but when the guards investigated, they found nothing. He finished. From what I understand, vigilantism isn't technically illegal as long as it's reported. There's even a reward for bringing in criminals. We only have so many guards. We usually use mercenaries to pad out areas our guards can't secure. Because he's not only taking down criminal gangs, some of the nobles have been attacked. Aemon said, pointing to the map of Danerim on the table. Garretpard, Pardal, Branmert, Huntingburn, Bridgewood, Claywood, Keensuk, Ryufoy. All located around the Arl estate. Garretpard, Pardal, Branmert. I've never heard of any of these houses. They're new. Howe elevated him the moment he gained power. Aemon clarified. Hold on, Ryufoy. Why does that sound familiar? I know I heard that name before. Honora said something about them. Not surprising. Ryufoi was one of the old names of one of the gangs that controlled the docks, led by Remli Ryufoi. These guys are some bad news. They would steal from warehouses, ships, and dock workers. There have been dozens of murders leading back to him, but no one has come forward. So, our guy is attacking Hao and his group of murderers and criminals. I already like this guy. You and most of the city. The problem is that these noble houses have been getting desperate to find them. They think the best way to bring him out is to cause general havoc until they arrive. Many people have been caught in the crossfire. Zevran added. Any way to find him without causing a gang war. At this point, all we need to do is follow the chaos. Leliana answered. I've been gone for almost 6 months and this happens. Make her give me a break. The door swung up, revealing Ayla. Nick finished the army camp. She called out. I looked back up to the ceiling. Make her destroy all my enemies. She gave me a queer look. We just sat in that quiet. She lifted her mace. We fighting someone? We all looked at her. Close enough. Let's get this done, people. / Astral POV. This place is smelly. This is no place for the great and beautiful. Astral Strider. Nick, make the smell go away. These landwalkers smell, and all these caves are too close together. Do these landwalkers not know what personal space is? So gross, I even had to wear boots. Everything smells like filth. I got you. He tapped me on my head, and the smell went away. Good couldn't last another minute. Thank you. Lastly, I realized that if I say, thank you, and, you're welcome, I get more treats. Dummy Nick doesn't even know I'm playing him. What are we doing here again? Kalen asked us to help out the elves. He answered like that meant something to me. He means that the shiny land walker, the one with the crown, asked us to make the land walkers with the pointy ears better caves so they don't smell as bad. Dagna clarified. Ooh, good. These landwalkers need help to smell less. Ugly. One of the passing landwalkers gave me an ugly look. So, ugly. Look and smell better. What is wrong with these creatures? I'm giving them good advice. Look at Nick. He only has so many mates because he makes good food, smells good, and if he was a dragon, I have no doubt his horns would be large and bold. Yes, he would be a worthless unthinking drake, like my brothers, but I would still mate with him. Maybe. Careful what you say, freak. Else I just might show you some. He didn't get to finish as Dagna jumped and slapped him across the face, launching him into a wall where he slumped and didn't get back up. Learn to talk to a lady before you come over here with your smelly ass. Oh, I think this is what they call protecting my honor. Dagny, you know I don't need protecting. I nuzzled her. She's acting extra bold lately. I think she's trying to get Nick to give her more freedom. I know, but we can live with an assault charge. But we can't work with you eating a fool. Yuck, I don't like the taste of landwalkers. You taste good though. I licked her neck. She always likes that. Hey, take that back to the ship. Gods know if you touch anything with your bare hands here, you would get some kinda disease. Nick said, giving everything a distasteful look. Wise, I don't want some nasty landwalker disease. Good news though, now you get to heal that jackass. No, my Dagny will not touch dirty landwalkers. I lifted Dagny away from Nick and the unconscious landwalker. Unfortunately, I put her within Sky's reach. No fighting, Dagny needs to learn. She plucked her from my hands and put her on the ground. Hey, that's mine. I'll level with you. Nick gave Dagny a cleaning scale. Now everyone she heals will be clean. Cleaning the ugly thing should be all the healing we should do. So ugly. Dagny gave it some magic healing. It slowly got better and darker looking. I guess it must have been pale. Good job. How many diseases did this guy have? 3. Close. 4. He has a messed up liver. Probably a heavy drinker. I got it. Watch closely. You too, Ayla. Knowing the disease or injury is half the battle, but it also makes it easier to heal the problem. The ugly creature coughed, waking up slowly. Nick patted his face, waking it fully. Hey buddy, feeling better? It nodded. Good good. Nick slammed his fist into the ground, burying it up to his forearm, making a clean hole. What did we learn today? UUUH. Won't make. W won't ma make. Ugly comments. UG ugly comments. To women, I've just met. To woe women I just met. Good good. If I find you doing the same thing again, well, I'll help you experience womanhood. Understood? It nodded so fast I thought its head would fly off. Good. Get out of here. It took off down the street. Hee, so weak. Mackay, the alienage should be around somewhere. / By the elder dragon lords. I thought the landwalkers outside were filthy. How do these sharp-eared landwalkers live like this? All the caves are collapsing in on themselves. Damn, I knew it wasn't going to be pretty, but damn. Okay, listen up, Zeph, take Team R, U, M, P and investigate the plague and the Tevinter healers. Ayla, he took a breath. You have the lead. She perked up, standing straight. Take Team B, W, I, L, A, and see if anyone needs real healing. B, W, I, L, A. Beautiful women I'd like to ask out. Win face-palmed. Right, where do we go? He shook his head. You're led. You make the decisions. I'm going to find the alienage's leader. You do what you think is best. Sereda, you're with me. He and Sereda walked out into the crumbling cave system these dumb landwalkers live in. Right. Okay, so, who do we have? With Nick and Sereda leaving and with Team Rump investigating the dirtiness. That left me, Astral Strider, Jack, Julie, Ayla, Sky, Win, and Dagny. Okay, we need a base, a location where we can work. That tree. She pointed to the largest tree in the center of this dragon's forsaken cave valley. Astral, Sky, oh, that's me. Bright one. I want to be called the great and powerful Astral Strider. I gave my best pose. No, Gak, I need both of you to find the sickest and most heavily injured people and bring them here. She ordered. But they're dirty. I don't want to touch them. She rolled her eyes. Don't roll your eyes at the great Astral Strider. Dagna, can you go with her? She gave out a thumbs up. Good. Win, can you go with Sky? She nodded. Okay, people, let's save some lives. Ugh, manual labor. I should have listened to Mother and gained some landwalker servants. / Nick POV. This place makes shanty towns look like suburban paradises. The game made it seem like this place had apartments and housing like the rest of Denerim, but it was nothing like that in real life. This place looked like it was made of old wood that drifted out to sea and made its way back to land and then used to make a wall using gum and hope. This place is also jam-packed with half-elves. It was ridiculous. Elf activist. Shiani Tabriz. Age, 20. LVL, 8. HP, 190 190ths. MP, 15 15ths. Street, she has an annoying family she fights with all the time. V, needs to eat more. Dex, runs from city guards. Int, knows that justice is fought for. Whis, thinks you need to literally fight for justice. Char, red hair, one of your many weaknesses. Luck, soapboxes are everywhere. Ailments, nearsighted, colorblind, migraine, malnutrition. Shiani was born in a freehold beyond the elven alienage in Denerim. When her mother died of a fever when the girl was 6, Shiani's uncle Syrian Tabriz came to take her there to live. She mourned her mother and dreamed of her father returning for her, imagining him as a Dalish warrior who would take her away and teach her how to be a true elf. She's worried about the plague. Didn't the wedding teach you people anything? Nobody is coming here to help us. We have to help ourselves. She growled at some of the elves in front of a house. Is she on a literal soapbox? Excuse me, we're here to help, I scream out, contradicting her. All the elves turned to me. Who the void are you? She hissed. And what's wrong with your eyes? Name's Nick Walters, boyishly good-looking, strong upper back, lover of all sexy lady elves, 'tis a pleasure. She was not amused. What are you doing here, Nick Walters? Yeesh, she practically cursed my name. The king has sent me to refurbish and give new living accommodations to the elves of the alienage. I have the paperwork. I held up the papers Kaelin gave me. I need to talk to Haran Valandrian. She climbed down from her soapbox and walked over to me. She yanked the papers out of my hands, reading them as if they offended her. King Kaelin gave you these? Yes, ma'am. Now if you would please show me to Haran Valandrian. We need to discuss what the alienage will look like. I gave an award-winning smile. Come on, Char-Stat. She shoved the paper back into my chest. God, for a woman with pencil-thin arms, she sure does have a lot of strength. He's sick. That's okay. I'm a healer. So is some of my team. I pointed to Team BWILA. There was a Templar next to them. Who's that? I can see. By the Maker. I can see. You're the second coming of Andrishta. Oh damn. It's that blind Templar. Well, former blind Templar. That seemed to have caught a large amount of the elf's attention, leading him away from the plague house. As you can see, we're good. So, I gave her some finger guns, giving her a smolder. She sighed. He's being treated by the Majors Loghain brought in to help stop the plague, but all they have been doing is gathering people, putting them in one place, and chanting. That's disconcerting. Have any people come out? A few. Sir Nicholas, that's highly concerning. Can't Madam Wynne heal most people? Why can't these mages? My pocket started vibrating. Hold on. This is the most handsome man on the planet. Shiani gave me a confused look. I walked over to her, lowering down next to her so she and Sereda could see Zevran. What is this? She looked closer to the... Shush, Zeph, what's going on? Kill the doorman, they're slavers. Try and keep one alive. I nodded. What? Who are you, Mirror Man? Shiani demanded. How do you know this? Sorry young lady, but I'm a little busy, Nick. I activated armor covering my body. On it, I passed my phone to Shiani. Hold this, and tell the young children to look away. What, Sereda, keep one alive? I called out, getting a nod. Walking up to the doorman, he held up his hand trying to stop me. He had this bored expression like had done this 100 times. He didn't even see my haki-infused fist come up into an uppercut, completely crushing his jaw into his brain, killing him instantly. His friend was confused for a moment before Sereda sunk him into the ground. Shiani looked shocked at our actions and the elves began running away. Not sparing him a look, I dashed to the man trying to pull out a sword, slamming his head into a wall, splattering his brains. Another guard panicked trying to get his blade. Who are you? We HAV. He didn't get to finish as someone straight out of Assassin's Creed fell from the sky, stabbing him in the throat, crushing him to the ground like a tin can. Unknown hero, magic hood blocks identity. The Raven. Age, unknown. LVL, 26. HP, 354 hundredths. MP, 91 hundredths. Street, Vigilante. V, needs to eat more. Dex, Parkour Master. Int, Vigilante Justice. Whis, doesn't have much of a retirement plan. Char, dark and mysterious. Luck, is a hero. Ailments, bruised knees, fractured toes, exhausted, malnutrition, crippled, missing right arm. The Raven, hero to the weak, broken, and poor. They appeared nearly 6 months ago fighting crime and saving a group of women taken by Vaughn Kendalls, killing him and saving the women. No one knows who the Raven is, but they're well known as the hero of the people. They're annoyed with you. They have been staking out the slavers for over a week, waiting for an opening. We stared at each other for a long moment. This guy's definitely the city elf warden. I can't tell their gender. Their armor consisted of some metal breastplate that stuck close to their body and a loose hood and robe that made their body rather bulky. They still had that hanging bottom coat, but I could live with it. Crippled, their arm looked fine, but to be fair it was covered by a gauntlet. I gave it a quick observation. Nerve tech arm. uncommon. Poor materials. Decent work. This arm was made by Lina Tabris. This arm uses the nervous system and magic core of an individual to give the arm movement. That's amazing. You would think after meeting with Dr. Breza I shouldn't be surprised by this level of intelligence, but I fell into the idea that because Thedas was cut off from the rest of the world, and thought that they couldn't create something this amazing, egg on my face. Well, if Tony Stark can build a mini arc reactor in a cave with a box of scrapes, why couldn't someone else? Rah! A mercenary screamed out a battle cry. Ah, and that was him being launched into the sky courtesy of Sereda. The ladies finished staring deeply into each other's eyes. She huffed, putting her hands on her hips. Sorry, sweetheart. I smirked at her. She just huffed again. 6 more Tevinter mercenaries followed that guy. I showed no mercy or hesitation. I did look a little covered in blood, but I got the job done. Love me tenderly. I thought I was just going to knock the first guy out. Apparently, Haki plus super strength tends to kill normal outright. Good to know. You killed them. Shiani looked sick. The raven cleaned their blade of blood. Yep, the cleaning rune on my suit removed the blood. I held out my hand, and she looked at it like it was going to kill her whole family. The mirror, Miss Tabriz. The raven snapped her head to me. Ah, her. How do you know my last name? She might be terrified, but she still had a backbone. My helmet molded away, revealing my face. If you really want to know, I'll tell you over dinner. Her unamused face returned. She passed me my phone. Guards are dead. Need help? I asked Zevran. No, but we need someone to head into the first building and cure the sick elves. I'm not sure what they have, but couldn't be a coincidence that they got sick as these slavers got here. He reported. Roger that. I'll head in. Any more I should be aware of in there? No, we took care of them. Damn, what ninjas. Copy. See you in a few minutes. I hung up the phone and summoned some robo-golems. Shiani jumped away in fright at their sudden appearance. The raven stood at the ready just in case I did something. Sereda, we need some beds. Shiani, how many elves have been in that? God, what is that? An apartment building. Looks like a multi-leveled shack. Whatever, how many people have gone in there? Why? Because these slavers can't sell slaves in a non-slaving country. They're planning on shipping my people. We need to stop them. We looked over to the man sunk up to his neck. Walking over to him, I earth bent him up into a pillar. Have fun. I need to get these people healed. I pointed to my golems carrying people out to Ayla. Sir Nicholas, should we not talk with this raven? Sereda asked. Not yet. These people need our help first. Dozens of my golems ran into the building, forming into stretchers and carrying people out of the building and over to Ayla, who in return healed them using fancy holy magic, lighting up the street and getting in good with the elves. That Templar was on his knees now, worshipping the ground she stood on. That's gonna be a problem. I don't know how yet, but I know it is. Team Rump came striding out of a building across the plague house. Behind them well over 3 dozen starving elves, and they even brought a gift, a handless bleeding out gift. Rushing over, I quickly healed his injuries. I also learned that I couldn't regrow limbs, yet. Apparently, I need to be at a master rank to regrow limbs using healing hands. I could probably buy a skill in the gamer's store that could work around that issue. Human slaver. Caladrius of Minrathous. Age, 44. LVL, 26. HP, 606 hundredths. MP, 357 hundredths. Broken will, minus 50% MP. Street, handless. V, broken will. Dex, broken will. Int, my hands. Wis, my hands. Char, slaver. Luck, armless. Ailments, disarmed. Broken will. Terrified. Caladrius is the leader of the slavers behind the unrest in the alienage. He was being given the documents by Loghain to enslave the elves in the alienage. The third son of a Laitan family, having no aspects in Tevinter, he came down to Ferelden hoping a slave grab would gain him enough money to make a life for himself. no matter who has to suffer. He can't look away from his missing hands. What am I looking at? I looked at Zevran. Caladrius, the head of this operation, we wanted him to stop. He didn't, we came to an agreement. I get what I want and he loses his hands. Zevran smirked, and these are the elves he tried to enslave. You were always a smooth negotiator. Leaving Caladrius on the floor, I walked over to the elder of the group. Elf Elder. Haran Valandrian. Age, 67. LVL, 10. HP 100 and 200ths, starved minus 50% to HP. MP 15 15ths. Street, he used to be a fierce fighter. V, needs to eat more. Dex, he's been cramped up in a cage for over a week. Int, thinks before he acts. Whis, knows not to look a gift horse in the mouth, in front of the gift giver. Char, Silver Fox. Luck, saved at the nick of time. Ailments. Starved. Weak bones. Nearsighted. Dehydrated. Aged liver. As its Haran, Valandrian effectively runs the alienage and has done so since he was in his 30s. He acts as the voice and administrator of the alienage, although lacks any real power in Denerim politics. He is a good friend of Duncan, who visits the alienage from time to time. Valandrian respects him for being able to recognize that talent can be found in the most unlikely of places. He's grateful for saving his people and himself. Haran, I walked over to him and healed him real quick. Oh, wow, I haven't felt this good in a long time. Thank you, young man. I formed an earth chair under him, allowing him to sit. Haran, is this all the people? I'm not sure how long the slavers have been here. He shook his head. No, that monster moved people in the middle of the night using the Draken River. Damn. Zevran, he passed me some paperwork. Looking through it, I found a ship named the New Empire. Ugh, what a tool. Have you called Team S? I-N-K. He nodded. Aidan and Alistair are sweeping the dock, and Theron, Alyssa, and Morrigan are sweeping the sky. I've also informed the king what is happening here. He's going to need those papers. I nod and hand him the papers. Stay safe, I'll be here remodeling the alienage as we discussed. He nodded, grabbing the slaver while Nat grabbed our prisoner and vanished with the rest of Team Rump. Looks like the light reflecting, feather fall, and air push runes are working fine. Do I do good work or what? Remodel the alienage, Valandrian asked. Oh right, you're the Haran. I handed him the papers. King Kaelan asked for me to help fix the alienage's crumbling architecture. He read over the paperwork. Will this cost anything? That got the attention of some of the elves. Worry not, King Kaelan has paid for everything, but I think I should make some food. The man looked like a twig. There is an op. He tried to get up but stumbled, being caught by the raven. Did their name come with the, or did someone add it? You shouldn't move too much, old man. Oh damn, they even have a voice synthesizer, making it even harder for me to tell if they were female or male. If you no longer need me. They started backing away. Whoa there, quick question. They pause and look at me. Do you believe in the elven gods? Everyone just stares at me befuddled. Sir Nicholas, you cannot be serious. Serida grabbed my face, squishing me. One should not play with the gods, Sir Nicholas. You must take your duties seriously. What if the gods find your flagrant attitude to be no longer cute? I just looked at her. You think I'm cute? I threw her a squashed smolder. You deserve everything that shall happen to you. She delivered her answer with a deadpan look. I reached up and patted her hands. Thank you for worrying, but the gods knew what they were getting into. I wasn't exactly subtle about how much I didn't want to do what they wanted. She sighed and let go of my face. At least don't make a spectacle. I gave her an affronted look and pointed to myself. Me. I took a deep breath. I waved my hands. Watch. I look into my inventory, finding Andrul's holy whatever. Hunter's freedom. This bow was made by the goddess Andrul. An inscription is written upon the bow's spine. Take your best shot. This bow uses arcane bolts as arrows. Be warned, this bow has a will of its own. If it feels you cannot handle it, it will make its displeasure known. Sticking out my hand, I summoned it. Nothing happened at first, causing everyone to look at me oddly, but I knew better. These bloody things loved a little showmanship. Nicholas, wait for it. True to my words, a single leaf fell from the large tree floating past me, but unlike the other leaves, it was pure golden light. It caught everyone's attention, only to be caught off guard as dozens of leaves started falling from the sky, making the alienage look like a winter's wonderland. But before everyone got too used to it, the leaves came together into a single object. A bow, beautiful in design, compound, made of wood, but had no drawstring. Passing my hand over where the string should be, a thin beam of light appeared, summoning an arrow made of light with it. Cool, but I don't want this thing thinking I'm its new master or whatever, so I eased on the string, causing the string to disappear along with the arrow. Amazing. The raven looked at the bow. Think fast. I threw it at them. They caught it out of instinct, rather shocked at my flagrant disregard of a holy magical weapon. The fade. They screamed, catching it on instinct. Quest completed. Hunt the hunters. One of the elven gods has asked you to find someone to take her blessing. Reward: 15,000 express. All rogue skills increase 1 rank. Archery skill, friendly with Andrul. Through your hard work and actions, you have gained a new skill. Archery. For you are a man in tights. Tight tights. Why attack your enemies face to face when you can shoot them from 200 yards away? You now know how to use a bow. 40% to bow damage. Due to your dex and street stat, you start at intermediate. It's your problem now. I picked up Serida like the princess she was and started walking away. Sir Nicholas, they need guidance in their new powers. Also, cease squeezing my posterior. She shouted, blushing like every sexy dwarf I have ever held. Thank you, Char Stat. I can do, maybe one of those. I gave her another squeeze, hoping she chose the squeezing so I didn't have to go back and help teach another person how to use godly weapons. She let out a cute growl. Turn around. Oh damn, she chose the helping of others rather than stopping my hands. Damn, I let out a long sigh. Turning around, we found Shiani playing with the bow, keeping the raven at bay with her boot to their chest. It looked like a bully keeping a smaller nerdy child away from their books. I thought she was the younger cousin. Oh, boy, I made a mistake. How does this work? She pulled back the bow, summoning an arrow. Cool. Ah, Shiani, don't. Too late. She let the arrow fly. Shooting out like a bolt of lightning, it flew into a wall. But instead of planting itself like a tree, it bunched up into a ball and then ricocheted, flying into another wall. It kept bouncing. Wall, wall, door, tree, wall. We followed it, making sure we knew where it was at all times. My eyes grew wide as it bounced off a wall and headed straight for me. My danger sense didn't even sound off. Without thinking, I lifted Serida over my head, allowing it to hit me in the chest. But instead of causing damage, it bounced off my chest and flew right into Shiani's foot. Unlike before, it didn't bounce off. We all just stared at it for a moment. Ah! Shiani screamed in pain. Nicholas, your hands. Looking up, I found my hand deep between her cheeks. Oops. Sorry. I eased my grip. I brought her down to the ground. Kinda moved with instinct. At least you had good intent. And lifting you was just a bonus. I made squeezing motions. You keep it plump. She launched me into the sky. I cheered, slowly coming down from the sky thanks to my featherfall rune. By the time I got back to the ground, I found Ayla healing Shiani's foot. You shouldn't play with weird godly weapons. I chastised a whimpering Shiani as I picked up the holy weapon and passed it to the raven. Here, play with this. The abyss is happening out here. A female elf yelled out, coming out of the shack covered in dirt and soot. Her blonde hair was thrown up into the air like she was in a cartoony explosion. Elf Artificer. Lina Tabriz. Age, 21. LVL, 11. HP 200 and 220ths. MP 25 25ths. Street, inventing is her business. V, needs to eat more. Dex, she can touch her toes. Int, who needs magic? When you have the IQ of a genius. Wis, I need to be smart, not famous. Char, nerdy with a dash of fierceness. Luck, she's a hero. Ailments. First-degree burns. Migraine. Nearsighted. Malnutrition. Daenerys alienage, born and raised. On the market center was where she spent most of her days. Chillin' out, maxin', relaxin', all cool. And all picking pocketing to pay for her new tool. When a couple of nobles who were up to no good started making trouble in her neighborhood. Death of all the nobles, they had to think of a plan. They need to be something more than a man. She's annoyed by all the noise. She was rather pretty if you ignore her soot-covered face. She had that rogue elf look, shaving a quarter of her blonde hair from the left side of her head. She was wearing an apron, a soot-covered sleeveless undershirt, and thick black pants. Twins. Slowly turning my head, I found Julie right next to me observing Lina. She looked like Sky did last night. Julie, no, she looked at me like I burned all the candy in my inventory. But Nikki, there are two of them. Can you imagine? Double the fun. She massaged my shoulders, sending shivers slithering up my spine. Well, who am I to say no? Begone, temptress, less I call your sister. She hissed and walked over to Sky, throwing her hands high into the air. Sky bent over and lifted her like a princess. She nuzzled into Sky's neck. She must have said something because Sky's eyes widened to the size of tea plates and began to glow. Julie must have said something else because she looked in my direction and looked away real quick. They're going to be a problem. Jack came up next to me. Do I wanna know? Book 3 of The Paladin and the Stable Boy. Two twin sisters saved Jon from falling to the dark side. She blushed. Let me guess, she wanted you to do that scene with me as Jon and you and her as the twins. She didn't look me in the face. I need to read those books. Hey, an angry voice and hands grabbing my armor, shaking me back and forth. Are you the jackass making all the noise? Whoa, isn't she filled with energy? You made me mess up one of my inventions. I demand compensation. She tries to remove my armor. This should be enough. Deja vu. And no, but if you want a rune buddy, I got your girl. Dagna. Lina was still trying to remove my armor. It was cute. I have to keep her and Julie apart. Poor girl will be eaten within the hour. I'm doing something. Looking over, I spotted her healing some kids with Win. Right, we're here to help the elves. Okay, I love you, I teased. I know. Damn, that makes her my Han Solo. Looking over to Julie, whose smirk was about to split her face. Well, it's not like I know this woman. This is one of my lovely girlfriends. I waved Sky over. This is Julie, removing Lina from my armor. She's a runes expert. She ceased trying to remove my armor and focused on Julie and Sky. Runes expert, huh? She gave them an incredulous look. You make this stuff. She pointed her thumb at me. Some of it. You know, your boyfriend wouldn't be happy with you being all over another man. I ain't got no boyfriend. Julie's smirk grew. Her and Sky's tails began to wave back and forth. Are you doing anything? Let's talk over lunch. This is my dragon girlfriend, Sky Skipper. Lina squints at them. I ain't hungry. Smart girl, she knows a trap when she sees one. Are you sure? She snaps her fingers at me. I roll my eyes, raising the earth into a table, throwing a picnic blanket over it, and summoned her some food, shrimp fried rice, roasted chicken, and a pitcher of water. Sky gave me some puppy eyes, so I added some steaks. Hee hee, you expect me to eat this slop? Slop. Bold words for a drooling woman. Julie teased, oh Lina, you're drooling like a starving wolf. I left Julie and Sky to their seduction. The other elves need food. I looked over to Raven only to find them missing. She'll be back. Probably. We do have her sister. / I ended up making chicken soup by the gallon. Thank you, Gamers Store. Finding enough food for everyone would have been one hell of a hassle. Valandrian was back on his feet in no time, helping the other elves sit and eat. That man was one hell of a leader. It was half an hour later that I heard that the elves in the new empire had been saved and had returned to the alienage. Whatever reservation he had about talking about the alienage just evaporated from his shoulders. I started making more food. Those elves would no doubt be starving. It took me nearly 6 hours to finally finish feeding everyone and get Valandrian to sit down and talk. So, you're saying the king has paid for the alienage's rebirth? He read over the paperwork in its entirety. Yes, sir. He heard that the alienage was in dire need of an upgrade. He gave me an incredulous look, and he wanted this place to be the testing ground for the rest of Denerim. 2 birds, 1 stone. I thought so. He gave the paperwork a hard look. You have the paperwork and the king's backing. Why come to me at all? You can just do it. I shook my head. I don't live here. This is not my home. If someone came into my home and started breaking down buildings and making a racket, I would get angry. I'm more of a ask for permission and then do it anyways kind of guy. Valandrian. Looking over, I found Lina walking over to us with a strangely calm face. Looking over to Julie, I found her playing with another Lina's hand as she blushed up a storm. When did Julie get so good at flirting? So, if that Lina, this must be her sister. They were practically identical. Ava. Valandrian jumped to his feet and ran over to her, bringing her in a hug. Ava had a blank look on her face and patted him with an emotionless face. Your father has been worried sick. Ava, a small child, ran up to us waving her hands back and forward like she had too much sugar. Her blonde hair was a mess and she was missing her front teeth but didn't seem to care. She was also wearing a cute little raven costume made of mismatched pieces of clothing. Ya missed it. The raven was here, and they beat up all the bad guys. The mages were slavers, and the raven came down and beat them all up and saved all the elves. Where were you? Sorry, Sarah, I was at work. Ava petted the young Sarah. Why is it that when the raven is around, you're always working? Ava just shrugged at her question. Through your impressive sleuthing skills, you have discovered the identity of the raven. Elf hero. Ava Tabriz. Age, 21. LVL, 26. HP, 404 hundredths. MP, 150 150ths. Street, fighter. V, needs to eat more. Dex, parkour master. Int, vigilante justice. Wis, doesn't have much of a retirement plan. Char, rebel with a cause. Luck, she's a hero. Ailments. Bruised knees. Fractured toes. Exhausted. Malnutrition. Crippled. Missing right arm. Born and raised in Denerim, she and her sister live with her father after her mother was killed by humans. Taking charge after her father fell into a depression, she helped bring her father back from the brink and raised her sister. She became the Raven after saving her sister from a noble who interrupted her wedding. With her fiancé running away, she had to save her sister. Worried about the retaliation of the other nobles, she and Lina made the rumor of the Raven, and being the older sister, she took the responsibility of being the Raven and her sister became her armorer. She likes your eyes. She was wearing what I would generously call rags, but on her right wrist was a small bracelet with a small wooden bow pendant. She had the right side of her head shaved opposite her sister. Her eyes were sky blue, different from her sister's sea blue. There's a difference, but it was her left arm that caught my attention. When I compared it to Edward's arm, I was pretty spot on. Steel that seemed to come from some armor, metal cords that seemed to copy muscles, and easy movement with no delays. Lina really is the Tony Stark of Thedas. Oh, Ava, my love, came a voice from the crowd of elves eating in the courtyard, Alienage's center. What the hell is this called? An elf ran over to us. He looked weak. I don't have any other way to describe this guy. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days, and looked clean. For a moment I thought he came in with the rest of the elves from the docks, but he was better dressed. Ava moved away from his hug. Don't touch me, vermin. Wow, that was cold. Goosebumps appeared all over my skin. The man tried to play it off with a laugh, but clearly, he failed. "Yeah, you're such a kidder, Ava, but you shouldn't talk to your husband like that." "Oh, drama. You're no husband of mine. Julie will be thrilled. You're a useless parasite." Damn. From what I remembered from the game, this guy was an okay dude, but apparently, he was a bit of a tool here. "You can't talk to me like." He was cut off by Sky lifting him into the air by his collar. "Begone. The pretty lady doesn't want to talk to you." She gave him a large shark grin. The man nearly wet himself. She dropped him and he took flight, running back into the crowd of laughing elves. "I don't think that guy is very popular here." Sky walked over to Ava and instead of saying anything she just flexed and made different poses. I think she was showing off the goods, and if Ava's blush meant anything, it was working. She even squeezed some of her muscles. "You're very strong." Sky glowed at her compliment. "You're very pretty, and strong." Sky flirted back. "Strong? You changed clothes, but you smell the same. Flowers, sweat, metal, and magic." She was practically nuzzling her. "You smell like your sister. Come, I and Julie are talking to your sister. Let us talk together." She lifted Aya and carried her away. Ava was still calm-faced as she was carried away. Now all I want to see is her, Sten, and Theron go against each other in a game of Wicked Grace. "What was that all about?" Valandrian asked, looking at the ladies' table. "That way leads to madness," I warned. "Here, I passed him some pictures. I took the privilege of making pictures that may help you choose the aesthetic design of the alienage. It's true, I took some images from different elf iterations from movies. Most of them were large, smooth, domes, and mostly green and marble white. We ended up taking another 30 minutes discussing the design, but when we finally came to a design, we could both agree on. Putting in the parameters of the architecture was to make into my construction skill. I got dozens of different buildings for different purposes. I started with the deconstruction of the Plague House. Multi-level ran-down shack. Durability 92 250ths. Occupants 0. Good lord, this place is falling apart. Even Mother Base had the durability of 400 when I first found it. Do you wish to fix this building? Why? N. No. Do you wish to dismantle this building? Why? N. Yes. In front of everyone, the old plague began to glow, and as if a black hole appeared at its center, it fell in itself in a loud grinding noise. In the center of what used to be a building laid 6 planks of wood and 3 large cubed stone slabs. Dismantling objects involved me having to use MP to destroy the rest of their durability, usually leaving behind a small number of leftover objects like the planks and the stones. I had one of my golems move the leftover objects to the side. I'll probably make a bench or something from it. Amazing. Valandrian came up next to me looking at the new empty lot. It would have taken weeks for us to dismantle that building, and you did it in less than a moment. Magic was my go-to answer to most things I did. Quite. So, what will you be making here? That's a good question. At first, I thought of making a large public works building, for administration, but after thinking it over I thought of something more necessary. An apartment building. He gave me a confused look. I'm going to have to give people a place to live as I go building to building. It's going to take some time to finish all the homes in the alienage, so it would be best for people to have a place to sleep. He nodded. Do you wish to create elven apartment? Why? N. Yes. Error. You do not have the correct number of materials. Do you wish to substitute materials? Why? N. Yes. The original design needed marble blessed by an elven cleric. I just used concrete, it didn't cost much, unlike the marble, and after I added some runes for it to last well over a millennium. I also had to change the wood it asked for cause I didn't have holy blessed god bark, so I just used some of my redwood. The end result was a building with a durability of 1400, which was pretty good. The cost of creating the building landed at 120 gold, 10 silver, 84 copper, and 345 MP. The money came from buying the concrete and steel I needed, but I bought in bulk, so I don't think I would need to buy more anytime soon. Summoning the necessary materials, I activated my skill. Do you wish to create modified elven apartment? Y, N. Yes. The material in front of me began to glow before turning into white glowing goo, combining, and as if it was poured into a mold, it grew into a large glowing building. After a moment, the glow dimmed and a 5-story building, with 20 apartments, 2 rooms, 1 living, and 1 bathroom per apartment. I gonna need to make water towers or add runes, to make sure everything works smoothly. I'll make Dagna do it and say it's training. Okay, I dusted my hands like I did a day's hard work. Now all we need is to refurbish the inside, add some runes, and this place should be livable. Looking over to the crowd, they looked at the new building in awe. Who are you? Valandrian just looked in awe. Name's Nick Walters. Carpenter, badass, adult. 'Tis a pleasure. // Getting Julie to work on the runes was pretty simple. She practically dragged poor Lina with her. To show off her skills, she gave me a wink on her way in. Dagna rolled her eyes following them in. I had to get her training in somehow. That woman is getting better at magic than I ever believed. She really is a prodigy. Julie's going to have Mother Base filled with women if I'm not careful. Looking over to Sky, I found her flexing at Ava, who was just captivated with her muscles, touching her abs and tail. I give it a week before I find Ava on Mother Base. I give Lina the end of the day. In the meantime, I worked on 3 other buildings. They took much longer due to people having to remove their things from their houses. Still got all 1 more house decked out and ready for people to move in after I added the necessary runes. There, a voice screamed. Looking over, I found the elves making way for a group of guards. That's the monster. Kill it. Is that Ava's ex? He was pointing at Sky, and that raised my hackles. Monster. Not wasting any time, I marched over. There were only 3 guards, who were clearly intimidated by Sky's unhappy glare. Let it be known that my lovely dragon doesn't like a bunch of mooks disturbing her flirting. What are you doing? Kill it, gentlemen. I spoke using my intimidation skill to the max. Everyone froze, the guards, the elves, Team BWILA, and even Sky. I hope you aren't going to do something stupid. I pulled out my paperwork, passing it to them, lowering my skill, allowing them to calm down. The leader read the paperwork and passed it back to me. The paperwork is in order, but what is she? He slowly turned to a glaring Sky. Dragon. He just looked at me for a moment, nodding, and he led his men away. Thank you, Char, and honesty. Wait, where are you going? You have to kill it. It's trying to take my wife. Ava's ex screamed at their retreating backs. That got Ava up and kicked him between his legs, causing him to squeak and drop. I am not your wife, she hissed, kicking him again. Walking away, grabbed Sky's hand, and entered the building her sister, Dagna, and Julie were in. Walking over to the idiot, I kneeled next to him. Help, he whimpered. Damn, he looked pitiable. Nah, I buried him up to his head. Call my lady a monster again, your head goes under the earth. I walked away, leaving him in the ground whimpering. Nelaros. Valandrian sighed like a man that failed at being a father. I decided that it wasn't my problem. Listen, I got to go. I'm going to leave 4 dozen golems to protect the alienage. They're going to be on auto-protect, meaning that they're going to patrol the area. I passed him a pack of papers. These are its orders. They will investigate any screams, fight anyone who attacks first, and a buttload of other things, so read up. I summoned 48 steel robo-golems standing at an impressive 7 feet, or 1 Master Chief in full armor. I broke them into pairs and had them patrol. Please be calm, we are here to help. They started walking out and around the alienage, repeating the same thing. Valandrian looked at them walk around the alienage. They'll stop saying that after 10 minutes. You'd be surprised how long it takes for people to get the picture that they're here to help. As the leader here, be aware that if there are any problems, the troublemaker will be brought here. Earth bent a long line of cages, causing him to shiver. Sorry about that. You have the final say on what will happen to them after that. He just looks over at the sheet of orders that I programmed into the golem. It was actually pretty extensive. Each golem cost me over 1000 MP, but I felt like it was a good investment. They were nowhere near Shale's power, but they don't have souls like Shale, so they couldn't really think for themselves, not yet anyway. I might create in the future, most likely on accident. Gonna need to add a self-destruct in the power system in case they go all Terminator. Julie and Dagna will stay a bit longer and finish the runes for the remaining apartments. The rest of the healers will too, but they have other jobs to do around Danerum, so try and get as many elves to get checked out now, cause I don't know if they will have any time later. If things go well, I'll be back tomorrow and complete more houses. Okay. I shook his hand, gave everyone a call, and left. Morrigan would throw a huge hissy fit if I didn't make her a cake outmatching Ayla's or at the very least equaling its might. The things I do for family. As I finished baking the cake, vanilla, getting her gifts wrapped, 10 in total, including one small island ticket. I'm thinking of a small island with a log cabin, homey, somewhere you can get away to, just for family and safety. Can I have some of that? Looking over, I found Ava sitting across from me at the counter. Julie invited Lina and Ava over for the party in Mother Base. I think she's just trying to get Lina to join us, and with her here, Ava wouldn't be far behind. Hey, Ava, sure here. I passed her some snacks I usually keep in the kitchen. Thought you were with Sky. Oh, she blushed. She went to take a shower. Right, she wouldn't know what a shower would be. And my sister and Julie have been talking about runes since we got here. She shrugged. I just wanted a break. Yeah, Julie loves runes. Where's your arm? Lina and Julie are upgrading it. I clicked my tongue. I wanted to help with that. I muttered, it's fine, I'll see if I can do something after they've had their fun. You guys really like that stuff, huh? She said through a mouthful of chips. Her blank face and chubby cheeks made her look like an uninterested chipmunk. Downright adorable. One of the many things we have in common. The frosting was ready and I needed to baste the brisket. Like seducing innocent elves. You're innocent. I smirked at her as I spread the frosting on the cake. I could be. She continues eating. No doubt. Nice bracelet. She looked at it, then back at me. You know, it wasn't a question. Are candy flowers too much for the cake? I'll make them out of pears. My magic allows me to see things others can't. You expect me to believe that? Vaughn deserved to die. She gave me a long look. He took my sister, when I found him, he had her tied up. If I was a moment late, I passed her some leftover cake. But you made it. She took a deep breath, regaining her composure. What's it about you that makes it easy to talk to? I'm charismatic, and bake a mean cake. My point was proven when she took her first bite and gave out a soft moan. 7 out of 10. Me or the cake? 8 out of 10. I'll take it. She gave me a soft smile. We stayed in comfortable silence. Nikki, Annie's she's here. Sky came in wrapped only in a towel, dripping wet, making the towel cling to her very impressive body. Damn, I'm the luckiest man alive. Wow, whispered a shocked Ava, with a fork with cake halfway to her mouth. Sky gasped, looking at the fork. Nikki gave you some cake early. She zoomed into Ava's personal space, shoving Ava in between her wet breasts as she ate the cake right off Ava's fork. So good. Sky jumps away smiling, not noticing that her towel was left behind, making an oversized bib for Ava, who was now looking at her nakedness with her large elf eyes. If her face gets any redder, Santa's going to need her to lead his sleigh. Sky, one of the women I love, looked over without a care in the world, begging with her eyes. She reached for more food only for me to smack her hand away. Nikki, she whined. You'll spoil your dinner, now go get dressed. I grabbed the towel from a blushing Ava and wrapped it around her, bring her down for a kiss, and slapped her ass on her way out, causing her to yelp, and give me a look that told me I was in for a wild ride tonight. I just smirked. What a woman. She swung her tail back and forth, giving me and Ava a good look at her bare ass. Wow, Ava whispered. Nice, right? Fair warning, she's a dragon. She's playing nice for now, but the second you let down your guard she's going to place you in her hoard. I warned, walking back into the kitchen. That doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, it's great, but that means you belong to her. She'll make you wear gold at every opportunity, gets all the snuggles she wants, sleep in your bed until noon, and have wild dragon sex every night. She began to sputter. What? She looked at me wide-eyed. So, when she comes for you, you must stand your ground, demand your right to freedom, and no, defeat her in combat. She gave me a blank stare, which I masterfully ignored, as I continued my party food. Hypothetically, what happens if I lose? Then you don't get a choice, you become hers. She will have you, whenever, and however, she wants. You will become Ava Tabriz, mistress of Skyskipper, forever hers. She gulped. Are you her mistress? No, I was able to defeat her. I did have help, but even then, if she wasn't injured before our fight, I'm not too sure if I would have won that battle. She sees me as someone to respect. The loving is her choice. I took out the brisket and allowed it to cool. Maybe you'll get as lucky. Will you help me defeat her? I paused my cooking and looked at her. And why would I do that? I love that woman, and I meant it. Sky, in the short time I've known her, has made a permanent place in my heart. She was mine and I was hers, and if she wanted the twins, she got the twins. If she wishes for you to warm her bed, to hear your voice before sleep, to dress you up in the finest of jewels, and parade you in front of the gods, I will not stop her. I will love her until the sun goes out, and then some. So, tell me, Ava Tabriz, why should I choose you over her? Because I want to choose my love, my happy ending, my future. I've lived my whole life for others else. I want to be selfish. And if you end up falling in love with the ferocious Sky, or the insatiable Julie, or even my cute innocent Dagna, or the holy maiden Ayla, what of my best friend and lover Jack? Choose one and you choose them all. Julie and Sky are greedy like that, and they aren't going to let you go so easily. Julie knows who you are, and practically drooling over your sister, she'll try and give you anything you've ever desired. The temptation will be legendary, and let's not forget about me. You. She looked into my eyes. Shock wouldn't be the right word for the emotion she was giving me, but from what I'd seen of her, the slight widening of her eyes might be the equivalent. Do you not find yourself attractive? She looked away and tried covering the missing arm. I walked around the counter, standing in front of her. She leaned back against the counter looking up at me. I gently grabbed her cheeks. You are a beautiful woman. I drew closer, brave, closer, selfless. The vanilla in her breath brought me closer. You're a woman worth loving. I gave her a soft kiss. Powerful, that was the only way I could describe it. Just like that time with Andrul, I felt all my burdens lift and my power rise. I licked her lips, asking for permission for more. She slowly opened her mouth, allowing me to deepen the kiss. I lowered my hand to her waist and pulled her close. She wrapped her arm around my neck, pulling me down to her. I could still taste the vanilla in her mouth. The need for air broke us apart. Amazing. I just met this woman. Why do I find her so beautiful? She seems to have the same power that Julie, Sky, Jackie, and every lady not in a relationship had. The power over me. Wow. You. She breathed heavily. Now, you're in real trouble. She gave me a confused look. Because I want you too. I leaned my forehead against hers. Her eyes were beautiful. Then you have to help, or else Sky will have me all to herself. Damn, why are there sexy women in every corner of this world? I know you're playing me, but okay. You're going to need Jack in your corner. Sky will only listen to her when it comes to people joining our little family. Can't you say anything? I shook my head. No way, I'm a bit of a pushover when it comes to my ladies. You need power. You need Jack. And if I don't want to be part of this little love fest? Her face was blank, but her voice was soft, as if wondering if she really wanted to see how far this relationship would go. Then you definitely need Jack in your corner. She will be the only one who could do anything to stop Sky and Julie. Chicken's ready. How do I do that? Them ribs are just about done. You got to give her something she wants. What kind of drinks should I get? Soda would be too sweet, and anything alcoholic is just asking for Okran and Zeph to do something crazy. Like, I'm not rolling in money. Anything I get as the Raven goes right back into fighting crime. I waved away such a ridiculous idea. Look around you, Ava. You think she needs money? Horchata. I just have to be light on the sugar. My beautiful Jackie loves adventure more than anything. She loves learning about new cultures. Say, I don't know, city elf culture. I'm going to need at least 6 to 8 gallons. Those wardens drink anything that tastes better than lake water. Like a date, should I make it in a barrel? Julie and Jack would probably use it as a cup. 3 barrels then, 1 for Jack, Julie, and everyone else. Not like a date. A date. Give Jackie some time to get to know you, talk about your culture, and if you're not feeling it, ask for a stay of execution. Stay of execution. Yeah, she'll give you about a month before Julie tries again, and with her comes Sky. I give you about a week before Sky has you in her clutches. She glared at me. I'm not that easy. Bold words for a lady who couldn't look away from Sky's body if she was paid. Has anybody ever told you that you have a punch-able face? Every time his hands wander. Nat walked into the room. Hey, sweetie, Ava, this is Grey Warden Naisha Broska. She's one fine lady, she huffed with a blush. God, I love teasing her. What's this perv told you? And also, who are you? Nat, this is Ava, Sky's and Julie's next victim. Maybe you wanna tell her what she's up against. Nat gasped. Oh no. She walked up to Ava and gently caressed her only hand. And you're down to 1 hand. She rubbed her arm. Nice calluses, hard worker, strong muscles. Have you ever thought of becoming a warden? Duncan, how'd you fit in Nat's body like that? Is this a Freaky Friday kinda thing? Shut up. She tried to drag and kick me, but I am a master in the kitchen. That, and I didn't want anything getting ruined. So I caught her and tucked her into my apron, facing me with her legs wrapped around my waist. Her blushing face eased all of today's worries left after Ava's kiss. You smell great today, I whispered. I haven't taken my shower. I shoved my face into the crook of her neck and took a whiff. Is that why you smell like victory and apples? That's yesterday's shampoo and all the sweat still clinging to me. She muttered, looking away. I gave her a lick. Yeah, that's sweat. Not being punched or yelled at, I looked over to her and found her blushing up a storm, looking like a ripe tomato. What? If Julie gets a bite, I want a lick. I smirked. You're a damn super perv. She hissed. We were so close our noses touched. Her breath smelled of coffee, must be from her morning thermos. When was the last time you ate? And you better not say this morning. I understood that wardens could operate longer and harder than most other people, but she didn't need to starve herself. I was busy. Those slavers needed to be dealt with. Good Lord. And the rest of your team? She shrugged. Sigh. Reaching over, I cut a piece of the ham I'd finished preparing and fed it to her. I have my own hands. She muttered, munching on the ham, eating it like a shark. 1 bite, 2 bites, and it's gone. I gave her a little more. Dinner was nearly finished, so she could eat to her heart's content. I did love it when her cheeks puffed up like a chipmunk. Thanks. I gave her a kiss on her forehead. Anytime. Do you make out with every woman who wanders in here? Ava asked, looking at our domestic scene, with a small blush, and a bored look on her face. If I'm lucky. Nat tried to punch me, but I was too close and she didn't have enough space to give me a good walloping. I reached over, grabbed more ham and fed her. She still glared, but it was cute. Nikki likes to touch. Sky came in wearing my old shirt and her workout shorts. The shirt did nothing to hide her figure, and Ava noticed. Do you want to be touched, Annie? She scooped her up to her chest, smothering her. Her tail and hands were moving up and down her body. Julie taught her well. Poor Ava could only moan out for dear life. Should we do something? Nat asked. watching Sky go to town on Ava. Ava isn't struggling, but who can really fight off a dragon? What a view. Too bad it was broken up by an angry Liner who attacked Sky to get her to stop. I say, attacked, but it was more like a child punching a T-Rex. Julie came in behind her with 2 thumbs up. What do you think you're doing to my sister? You're too close. I called out from a safe distance. I loved Sky, but when she gets like this, she tends to get greedy. She gave me a confused look, but it turned to shock as Sky scooped her up too and brought her next to her sister. Release me, yo, she moaned out, melting into Sky's naughty petting. Oh my. What have you ladies been teaching my poor innocent Sky? I whispered to Nat. Me, I haven't. Sky likes to talk. I cut her off, causing her face to explode into a blush. How much? Not much, my naughty Nat. She slammed her head into my chest and let out an embarrassed scream. I laughed and brought her into a firm hug. So cute. What's going on in here? Ayla ordered, walking into the room. This is just getting better and better. Sky, put him down. Sky froze at Ayla's angry voice. She looked at her like a deer in headlights. But she brought the sisters closer to her. Like a child who was told to return a toy they picked up in a store. Damn, Ayla's really gotten braver and bolder, but to be fair, she was always those things. She just has more confidence to show it. Sky gave a look like a scolded child. She looked like she was about to do what Ayla ordered but froze midway. She slowly reasserted her grip on the twin and straightened her back, standing to her full height. She narrowed and looked back at Ayla. No, oops, looks like she remembered she was a dragon and Ayla wasn't. Mine, she continued her earlier touching, getting the girls to moan again. She squinted her eyes at Ayla, who gulped. You are mine too. She stepped closer to Ayla, causing her to take a step back. That was a mistake. She just showed weakness, and Sky capitalized on it. With both her hands busy, she used her tail to wrap Ayla and bring her in with the twins at her chest. My 3 little golden darlings. Sky, put me. She was cut off by Sky's tongue, and she wasn't shy. Ayla challenged her and lost. She belongs to her now. Ava and Lina looked at the scene wide-eyed. They looked nervous when Sky released a drooling, half-awake Ayla and turned to them. Oh boy, her pupils were completely dilated. She wanted more, and very little was going to stop her, but that was okay, though, cause her head jerked to the left. She let out a deep growl that vibrated my bones. Even Nat shivered against my chest. Unfortunately for Sky, Jack was the one holding her horn and had the meanest scowl I have ever seen. Sometimes I forget that Jack and Julie are part of my party so they can upgrade their stats as well, and apparently, she put some into strength. Yah, Jackie. Wah, ow. Jack lowered Sky's head to her eye level. Let them down, she hissed. Be you, but ow. Jack gave another yank. Down. She let go of the elves. Good girl. Jack gave her a soft kiss. No kissing people who don't want to be kissed. Sky nodded. This time Jack kissed her much more passionately. Releasing her, she pointed over to me. Go set the table. Eamon, Kaylin, Sten, Shale, Win, and Duncan won't be here for dinner, but we do have 2 guests. She grabbed Sky's ass. Behave or you get nothing. That humbled her. She came over with a pitiful look. Nikki, Natty, sigh, man, why is she so adorable? Jackie yelled at me. I know, sweetie, I was in the room. I brought her into a 3-way hug between Nat and me. Table, Jackie ordered, causing Sky to whine and bury her face deeper into our necks. Go on, I don't want you to get in any more trouble. Nat whispered, giving her a small kiss on her cheek. Thank you for the help. I gave her a kiss on the other cheek. I watched her take the plates and walk over to the table, pouting the whole time. Looking over to Jack, I found the twins gushing over her. If someone saved me from a Hansi dragon, I too would see them as a hero. Ayla walked over to Sky and huffed at her. Sky whined and looked away, but Ayla was as weak as I was to Sky's pouts and cries, and like clockwork Ayla opened her hands, bringing Sky into a hug, which Sky took advantage of by giving her a deep kiss and massage her body. She's incorrigible, Nat muttered. Yeah, but we love her. She gave me one of her teasing smirks. I placed my forehead against hers. Nat's eyes are beautiful, they put Sapphire to shame. Her smiles and smirks light up rooms. Her hair makes ripe tomatoes look dull. Her sense of humor makes me laugh. And her intelligence makes me smarter just by being around her. She's a woman worth loving. I just hope I'm a man worth the same. Are you just going to stand there or are you going to do something? She was smirking. Damn her and that sass. Her lips were impossibly soft and tasted of my ham, making me want to go full carnivore. I wanted more. My whole being demanded more. More. I used my tongue to ask for permission, or like demanding, she allowed me and didn't hesitate. For the last month, Sky would tell me about all the things she would do to her, Julie would act out the faces she made during our lovemaking, and Jack would tease me by saying how she would love my skills in the bedroom. God, they were right. I grabbed her ass and pulled her closer. I needed her, but before anything happened someone yanked my ear, breaking my tunnel vision. That's enough, Jack ordered. It's Morrigan's birthday and if you have sex on her cake, she will kill you. Right, cake, birthday. She reached into my apron, taking a blushing, heavy-breathing, dull-eyed, smiling Nat away. I'll take this away before you put yourself in danger again. Don't worry, you'll get this back after dinner. She wrapped Nat in her tail, hugging her body, doing the same thing I was doing with my apron. I meant not a toy, Nat hissed, regaining her senses. Warden Naisha Broska isn't a toy. Naughty Nat is a horny fool who can't say no and ravage the lover in front of her. She smirked, she leaned forward and whispered something, causing Nat's eyes to grow wide, cling to her, and glaring in my direction. What did I do? We're going to get ready for the party. Sky, that table better be ready when we return. Ladies, sorry about Sky. She gave a charming smile at the twins, causing them to blush and nod. She reached out and yanked Julie's ear, marching her out. Oh wow, Jackie, you're going to rip it off. I heard her scream. She really knows how to control a room, huh? Zeph commented, causing me to jump. Where the hell did you come from? This sneaky bastard, gonna give me a heart attack. He. Everyone here needs to practice their spatial awareness. Spatial awareness, my cheeks. Your ninja ass needs a bell. So, are ready for the party? Yep. Is Aiden still on his date? Aiden wanted to take her around Danerum for a good time. They told me about a library somewhere in the marketplace. I'm probably going to copy all their books after work tomorrow. They're so cute, Lily gushed. God damn it, all these rogues are getting on my last nerve. Oh, Nikki, you should have seen them. Holding hands, walking down the street, blushing up a storm. So precious. You got pictures? I placed the ribs on the counter for Ayla and Sky to put on the table. Pish, who do you take me for? She showed me her phone. My goodness, she looked like a schoolgirl walking with her boyfriend. I'm going to put that on the wall. Nice. Chicken next. Have you found anything on Honora? Kaylin hasn't been right since we got here. I would like to believe that Honora's in the Isles estate, but I can't be 100% certain on that. And if I make a mistake, Kaylin's kingship could be brought into question. We learned that she has an elven lady in waiting by the name of Erlina, but she seems to have gone into hiding. She might know where our lost princess is. Zeph answered. Elf, think she's hiding in the alienage. Trying to blend in, I asked. I doubt Howe would let someone like that live. That's what we thought, but we believe Howe would have sent assassins to find her, or at the very least sent someone to mess with the elves until they gave her up. Lily spoke up, eating some of Ava's leftover cake. We turned to Lina. There have been some attacks on the alienage. When? Zeph asked. Like once a week. Some thugs would come at night and cause a racket demanding an elf. Black hair, light-skinned, Orlesian accent. She nodded at Lily's questions. Yeah, but the Raven gives them the business and sends them packing. She shadow boxes, trying to mimic one of Ava's fights. We looked at each other, and back at her. Do you know if she's there? She shrugged at my question. Any new elves to the area would find shelter, Not at the alienage, but at the Chantry in the market center. It's the biggest one in the city and takes in the homeless. The alienage doesn't have a lot of space. Well, at least we didn't. With your work, we should have plenty of extra space when you're done. The bard and assassin got up at the same time. I passed them some dinner boxes. It sucks they might miss the party, but we had to jump on this info. We'll call Kalen and we'll call if something goes wrong. Lily waved goodbye, rushing out of the house. I gave Lily a raven as a flying golem and Zeph had a crow. I don't know, it felt appropriate. I wish them luck. Hopefully, we can conclude this quickly. The party went great. We showered Morrigan with gifts and food. She went into great detail about how her house should be made, the number of rooms, windows, the runes, etc. I gave Aiden 1,000 thanks for dragging her away for the night. You're a good man. I looked up from my cleanup, finding Ava helping me put dishes in the dish cleaner. From what I understand, you, Morrigan, and Astral aren't related. You didn't have to do this, but you did anyway. I mean a flying island. As a birthday present, I got a scarf. I was quiet for a moment. I had 2 sisters. I lost them some time ago. I lost my whole family. The images of my sisters, brother, Ma, and Pop. Gamer's mind really is a double-edged sword. I hated how small my voice was. I guess I'm substituting Astral and Morrigan as the family I lost. Giving 'em everything I couldn't give my original family. I'm sorry, I shook my head. It's okay, I lost them some time ago. Jack and Julie, shoot, the whole Hope family helped me move on, but I guess not everything was smoothed over. Morrigan and Astral acted so much like Rebecca, my little sister, that something inside of me just wanted to keep them safe. But they're their own people, and I can't baby them. This is a dangerous world and they don't need me getting in their way with my worries. I finished putting the dishes away. Speaking of sisters, I'm guessing you and yours are staying the night. Well, it was rhetorical, of course, you're staying. I'll be damned if I let 2 beautiful young ladies walk at night in a dangerous city. Haven't you heard? There's a dashing nighttime hero keeping the city safe. I smiled at her joke. Sounds sexy. I'd love to meet this hero. We can exchange fashion tips. Your armor is too tight. You need looser clothes, better for fighting, is what they might say, and deprive the whole world of all this. Never. I flexed at her. It didn't have the same effect with my baggy clothes, but the short sleeves showed off my guns. Don't you agree? I threw her a smolder. Is that also a rhetorical question? Depends on the answer. I joked. Sky has bigger muscles. Gasp. She's a dragon. How am I supposed to compete? Do my cooking skills add any sexiness? She reached over, picking at the leftover containers. Keep your food perfectly preserved with the Nick box. All food will be kept hot and ready for eating for up to a month. Order yours today. With Kalen, Duncan, Sten, and Wynne not being here, I ended up making too much. I'll probably make Alistair take the leftovers tomorrow. I'll send Alyssa with him. Don't want him eating all the food before it reaches them. It helps. Maybe 1 or 2 more crunches. That tum-tum needs some work. She patted my stomach. I clicked my teeth. You're just jealous. Who wouldn't be? With ladies like Jack, Ayla, Dagna, and Sky. Who wouldn't be jealous? Come, I'll show you your room. I walked her down the stairs to one of the guest rooms. Unlike an average room which would be left mostly empty, guest rooms are filled with the greatest commodities I could buy or make: massage chairs, jacuzzi, full body showers, a TV that lowered from the ceiling connected to a DVD system with every movie and TV series I had, beds made of softest materials I had with some comfort runes, rugs, etc. I had 4 of these rooms, and I wanted them to show off. Morrigan tried to take it, but I said no. Man, was she angry. The room had 2 beds. I didn't want to separate the sisters. Nice, right? She walked over to one of the queen-sized beds and tested its softness. She shrugs. Looks nice. Feels good. Good bounce. It'll do. For now. It brings me great joy to hear that. I gave an over-the-top bow. I believe Lina and Julie are giving your new arm some final touches. Are you going to help? She tucked herself into bed, showing me only her head. The bed was so soft and the blanket was so fluffy that it looked like her face was just above the blanket. Her emotionless face only made it funnier and cuter. Tempting, but I trust Julie to do a better job than me. She's my teacher after all. Good night. Night. What a woman. Walking back to my room for the night, my intuition tingled at the back of my mind, telling me something was happening. The problem was, intuition was a difficult skill to understand. It works best when I can see what set it off, making it easier for me to figure out if it was a good thing or not. I barely reached novice even though it was one of my very first skills. Worst part, I have no idea if it is warning me if the danger is close or far, just that something was happening and it involved me. Walking into my room, I brought out my journal. Originally, I didn't want to make one, but Ayla, Neria, Julie, Jack, and Dagna practically twisted my hand until I did. They wanted me to write out my day and my feelings on what was happening to me throughout the day. They wanted to use my journal as a base point for my character in their first-hand account of the Fifth Blight. Varric is going to have some competition in the author game. A knocking at my chamber doors paused my writing. Coming, putting my journal away, I walked over to the door, coming chest to face with Nat. I didn't get to say anything before she shoved me to the side, closing and shrinking the door. Please come in, I joked. She was looking at the little peephole she made the door. She was wearing a bikini made of gold. Wow, never have I been happier to have shown him Star Wars. Do you need rescuing? Please say yes. Cosplay, every man's fantasy, and I live in a world of magic. She turned and glared at me. Damn, even her glare was sexy. Her hair had 2 buns instead of her usual one. My mouth was going dry. Shut up, this is your fault, yo. I couldn't hold it. Gamer's mind failed me yet again. I lifted her and slammed her against the wall, not rough enough to cause injury, but enough to keep her in place. I shoved my tongue down her throat, trying to taste her dinner. The ever-present tingle of pleasure filled me. God, she was perfect. She managed to shove my head back by pulling on my hair. Hold on, you beast, she protested. Right, sorry, we need a safe word. Pineapple. I resumed my actions, sucking on her neck. Hold on. Jack and Sky were right behind me. She still tasted a little like sweat. I'm so jealous of the girls getting to taste her first. Let them hear, I hissed. Her ass was amazing. So firm but malleable, it allowed me to squeeze, but it bounces back. Gods damn it. Months, Nat, months. I wanted you for months. But Julie said no. She wanted you first, wanted to taste you. I can see why. Her moans made my pride soar. I stored my clothes in my inventory, leaving me naked and at full mast. You drive me wild, Naisha Bosca. I whispered into her ear. I will have you. Her height and weight were no match for my strength and lust. I kept her pressed to my chest as I carried her to my bed, keeping my tongue in constant battle with hers. I dropped her onto my bed. Take it off. I growled. I knew I could have done it myself, but I wanted to see her do it. I needed to see her do it. She smirked at my words, opening her legs and giving me a come hither gesture. Make me. Her sultry voice made my blood boil, and if I didn't have Gamer's mind, I would have caved and done just that. Anything she asked would have been my deepest desire, my goal in life, the thing that kept me going. Julie really knew how to teach seduction, or at the very least knew how to play me like a fiddle. I reached for her, but she was lightning fast, moving around my clumsy movements, flipping me onto the bed and landing on top of me. Did you really think I would let you be on top? Her teasing voice was maddening. Julie and Jack told me all about you, your weaknesses, your strengths. She leaned forward, using her hands to feel up my chest. Damn, everything she does seems to light me up. My hands went for her hips, but she grabbed them before I got to them. No, she lifted them over my head until they slammed against the wall. As the servant, I get to do everything. But, click, wah, looking up, I found my hands cuffed together and stuck to the wall. The hell are those? Like them, I focused back on Nat's growing grin. Sweetie, my voice came out weak and confused. Julie made them. But how did you get them in here? You're wearing a loincloth and gold bikini. Oh my, that face. Your confusion, I caught the mighty Nick Walters unawares. I'll remember this moment forever. And if you must know, Julie hid these here. She wanted to surprise you one day, but she allowed me to use them. What else is in here? I gave the room a quick look around from my vantage point. That doesn't really matter, does it? You're here now, and you're all mine. I gave the cuffs a soft pull, finding it only gave weak resistance. Oh, they're toy cuffs, or maybe I'm just strong. It didn't matter. Nat used the time I was playing with the cuffs to stand over me. The loincloth was made of something soft as she unclipped it, and let it drop, thumping on my chest. Whoa, is that thing made of real gold? Shit knocked the air out of me. Oh, by the stone. Are you okay? She quickly shoved it to the side. God, even when she's worried, she's sexy. I'm fine, please continue. She nodded, getting back into the groove. Show me those skills the others gush about. Wow, I just laughed. God damn, you're beautiful. Her hair was wild and a mess, and she was covered in sweat and bite marks. What is this, Nick? She traced my body with her fingers. Are we dating, friends with benefits, lovers? I tilted her head so she could see my face. I love you. You can call me your boyfriend, lover, husband. I teased. She slapped my chest. Call this whatever you want, but I want you to stay with us, forever and ever, and if you need a ring to prove my love, just tell me your ring size. You would marry a dwarf. After one night. You're crazy. I'm crazy for you. She laughed. So cheesy. I think I'll wait for you to propose to Jack before I ask for a ring. Jackie, she must have seen my face. Jack's the one on top. She's the leader of this little group. You should thank her. She keeps Julie and Sky in line. Otherwise, Ayla, Neria, Sereda, and Dagna would be next to me right now. Probably Ava and Lina too. You know, they're kinda cute. Julie, how'd you get in Nat's body? It's kinda hot. She slapped me again. You're an idiot. You're idiot. She straddled me, capturing me between her cheeks. Yep, now, show me your love. She smirked, driving me wild. // You have slept in your bed. HP, MP, and CP are fully restored. All ailments cured. I woke up to Nat laying on my chest, her red hair straying around my body. She was drooling on my chest, but I couldn't find the will to move her. So cute. Someone took that moment to slam on my door. Ah, what? No. Nat threw her head up, half awake, looking for the danger. I gently grabbed her head, giving her a morning kiss. It's just the door. She let out a moan of annoyance, slamming back onto my chest. I gave her another kiss and covered her in my blanket, laying her in my bed. Get some sleep. She cuddled up and fell back to sleep. I put on some underwear and went to answer the door, finding a smirking Julie. Julie, what's going on? She tends to be a late riser. Zeph and Lily called. They found Our Lady. They're at the Arl estate. Damn, I wanted some shower fun. Alright, I summoned my loungewear. I'm going to start breakfast. Please wake everyone. Giving her a morning kiss, I walked back into the room to get Nat, only to find Julie next to me. Julie, she looked to me, then back to Nat, and then back to me. I rolled my eyes. She saw. I gave Julie another kiss, this time deeper and tongue-filled. Be gentle. I gave her a stern glare. I love this woman, but she had the problem of being rough when she wanted something. She gave me a pout. If she tells me, you were rough, I'm going to take it extra gentle with you. She hated when I took my time when I made love to her. It would drive her into a frenzy. She huffed and pushed me away. Make my breakfast, ya sexy man. I made enough breakfast for 40 people and put it all in my inventory. I decided that we would eat at the estate. I gave Lina and Ava their lunchboxes before they walked home. I asked him to tell Valandrian that I might not make it today. Sky and Julie, of course, laid some moves on him. Well, Julie laid some moves on Lina. Sky just gave Ava a hug, squeezing her in between her boobies. Either way, It worked, leaving both sisters left blushing messes. Julie turned and bounced her eyebrows at me. I just smiled. What a woman. Arriving at the estate, we found Kalen getting ready for war. He had 2 swords, a crossbow, knives, and a look that made villains cry. "We know where she is," was the only thing he said. We looked over to Eamon, who was trying to get Kalen to calm down and not do anything rash. Erlina told us that Honora was placed under the protection of the Isle of Danerum. Eamon answered for the furious Kalen. "How?" Aidan hissed. "We're going." Ayla nodded, jumping to his side. The look of rage on their faces nearly made him twins. "Calm down," I hissed. At any other time Aidan was the leader on the ground, but the rage was clouding his judgment. They backed up and stood next to a fuming Kalen. "How's crazy and evil? If we rush in there, he might kill Honora and run before we stop him, blaming us, causing us to lose the Landsmeet and Ferelden to get eaten by the Dark Spawn, so calm down." That got him to stand down. "We need to sneak in and get Honora out. If Howe tries to stop us, we finish him. If hostage takes priority." That got Kalen to calm down, but Ayla and Aidan frowned. "Zeph, Lily, Nat, you're our rogue masters. What would be our best way in?" They muttered to one another. "Guard shift," Nat stated. "Midnight, guards at their tiredness." Lily gave the time. "And the greatest time to get all our targets." Zeph finished looking at the raging trio. "That means you need to blend in." We snapped to the synthesized voice. Out of the dark corner, the Raven appeared, her armor hiding her body and bow on her back. "Raven," I called Ava by her heroine's name. "What brings you here?" When a group of heavily armed weirdos flies through my city, it tends to catch my attention, and after hearing what is happening to our queen, what kind of hero would leave a woman in the hands of a monster? She grunted, leaning against the wall. Kalen just gave her a long look, before looking toward me for the validity of the person in front of me. I nodded. "What do you know? King Kalen is a pragmatic man. If help arrives, he's not going to push it away." Raven walked over to the map. "People have been going into the estate, but no one has been coming out." She pointed to the surrounding noble houses. "These houses are filled with his loyal bootlickers. I've tried entering the estate." "Why?" Eamon asked. "People have gone missing." I tracked it back to the Isle's estate. I tried entering through the rooftops, but some guards spotted me. They sounded the alarm, sending these 3 blocks into a frenzy. She used one of the many markers I gave Kalen to play with. She used a red marker and started drawing the boundary lines. If the alarms ring, the estate is slammed into a lockdown. No one in, no one out. "For how long?" Duncan asked. She shrugged. "A day, maybe 2. They swiped the area for anything out of place. Couldn't stick around until it lifted. Nearly caught. There's more." She made another circle around the estate. "There's a torture room." That got Kalen back to maximum rage. "What?" he hissed. "Since when?" I'm guessing he knew the old Isle and thought he was a good man. She shrugged. "Not sure. A few months ago, the noble that lived there kidnapped someone I knew. I snuck in, found my friend, and killed the noble." Kalen grew quiet. "Were you merciful?" he whispered. I was quick. That seemed to be enough for Kalen. "Okay. How do we get in?" He leaned against the table. "It's a waxing moon tonight. I would advise to attack in a new moon 2 nights from now." Kalen slammed the table. "No, I will not allow my wife near that man. Eamon, Duncan, Nick, Aidan. I need a way in." I walked to the map. I gave the map a long look. "Due to your hard work and effort, you gain a new skill. Tactician. I'm 4 parallel universes ahead of you. The ability to plan your way through any problem. This skill has been absorbed by intuition. Due to your WIS and INT stat, intuition ranks up to intermediate. Intuition spikes now appear on your map. Warning, it only lasts 10 minutes. The map in front of me started gaining lines that seemed to indicate forms of attack, but everything I thought of would end in failure. We would be seen, the estate would lock down, and Honora would be moved or killed. Hold on, I was looking at it wrong. I used prestidigitation to make a floating 3D model. We can fly and go underground. The illusion made little figures of the group flying over the estate and another group tunneling under. Do the other houses have basements? Not that I know of, but I didn't know about the torture dungeon of one of my Arls in the city. Kalen grumbled. My intuition told me that they didn't. If we go underground, we need to stick to the sewers. Aiden joined his rage, focusing and reforging into determination. He pointed to the cavern I imagined to be the torture dungeon. Then dig our way through, but we can't just assume Hao would keep her there. Honora is Logain's daughter, and that man would string him up if he even thought she was living in half-ass conditions. I'm thinking she is somewhere in the upper rooms. He looked at the map with an eagle eye. I got a plan. / The sewers suck. Aiden's plan was pretty straightforward. Nat, Lily, Zeph, Sky, Raven, and Astral would come from above using the car, which I had to install a light reflection rune to make the car invisible, using Dagna as the driver, which I made her armor so protective it made it impossible to move, but nothing was going to touch her. Julie's going to stay with her and snipe any fools patrolling the rooftops. The rest of us were taking the sewers, which are being used mostly to carry surface water out of the city and away to the ocean. They wouldn't be guarded, but Aiden didn't take any chances, so I made rat golems and had them intestate the tunnels. Clean. The golems filled in the blanks my map had, giving me the all green. Move forward, Aiden ordered, taking lead. The sewers smelled like, well, sewers. So, I gave everyone bubblehead charms, giving us fresh air for the next hour. It took us 30 minutes to find the best place to start digging. I had Serada begin creating the hole by compacting the earth, making the tunnel strong enough to keep the estate above it from falling on us. I came up at the rear, reinforcing the tunnel. I didn't want us to be stuck inside. Raven really didn't describe this place. Sure, we know it was a place of great suffering, but damn, there was blood everywhere, moans coming from cages, cries of men and women, and the air was suffocating. If it wasn't for my charm, I'm sure the smell of blood and waste would have knocked me out. Nick. I jumped into action at Aiden's command, healing the first person I came across. It was a young man. He was missing an arm and his wound was burned closed. He was hanging in a cage. He groaned. I broke the cage open, grabbing him gently, putting him on the ground. Shush, you're safe, you're getting out, I whispered, making golems out of the floor, and I ordered the golem to leave. And for the next 15 minutes, that's all I did. One horribly mutilated individual after the next. Heal, make a golem, get him out. I lost count at one point. They just kept passing me people and I would heal one after another. I was grateful for Win, Ayla, and Alyssa. They picked up the slack anytime I was busy with serious injuries. Win followed him out with a group of my robo-golems. Kalen looked ready to unleash his dragon's blood and wipe out every guard and thug around the estate. We had to remind him about Honora to keep him from going into a rage. Aiden threw his hand up in a sign to stop. Frozen in a crouching position, it was only after the moans of the prisoners were far enough away that we could hear the thumping of some kind of music. What is that? Kalen asked. A summoning, Jack answered questionably. That didn't sound good. Summoning, like a demon? Alistair asked, gripping his sword. No, a devil. Ah, shit. Like your grandmother? Duncan asked. That would be real bad. Princess Thorn is no joke. She was the closest thing to a living deity I know. If someone, half, her strength comes through a summon, we could kiss our asses goodbye. Yes, but your people don't even know of my people. How do they know how to summon a devil? Jack asked the correct question. How did Jedidiah? I asked. If he could do it, why couldn't someone else? I'm not sure. Summoning wasn't something I studied. Gran only told me the basics and its dangers. Sodding nug-humping nobles, summoning creatures beyond their control, having for us to clean up the mess. Okran complained quietly. Dangers? Ayla asked. My Gran tends to be more of an outlier. Most devils tend to ask a lot of their patronage, souls, slaves, weird rituals, weapons from the slain, or to make a cult in its name. It really can be anything. Would they come here? Duncan asked. Jack shrugged. They might. Gran visits us all the time to get away from work. Whoever they are could just want to skip out on work, but... She looks around the torture dungeon. I don't think it wasn't to get away from work. How do we defeat it? Kaelin asked. She pointed to Ayla. Devils, no matter their affiliation, still come from the Underland, a place of darkness. Holy magic causes great damage, but the best way to stop them is to stop the thing that is bringing them through. How? Aiden hissed. Him and anyone else helping him. Jack added. Aiden nodded and led us down the hallways toward the thumping, which was getting louder and louder. The air vibrated like a heartbeat. My intuition was going wild. Danger was down the hall. When we reached the door we could hear chanting. I could only understand every sixth word. Whatever they were saying, it wasn't English, Draconic, Elven, Dwarfish, or anything I'd heard before. Aiden motioned for Sten to break down the door. // Leliana POV. Everything was going great. Feather falling into the estate went great. We were almost caught, but Julie was no slouch. The guard was taking in air to scream, but an arrow shoved its way through his head, dropping him. The arrow that killed him flew off, killing another guard on another rooftop. I leave that to Julie. To the others I found Sky holding a piece of the roof as Zevran cut a circular hole large enough for us to enter. Lifting and moving it over we gained entry. Nat became invisible going first. We had to kill another 6 guards and shove them into a closet. So unprofessional. Still, a queen needs saving. Room by room we looked for any sign of the queen. It wasn't until the last room on the 2nd floor that we found her. Really, the last room? Ugh, fine, but it's cliché. The door was locked, but we had a dragon. As quietly as Astral could, she popped the door open and was greeted by a sword going through her head. I would have panicked if Astral was a human. As if she were a ghost, Astral phased through the sword, entering the room, causing the person inside to scream. Astral was a master of the Fade Shroud technique, making it nearly impossible for someone to touch her. Dragons are overpowered. The only person I know who can touch her is Nick and Sky. I think they use magic somehow. Moving quick, Zevran shut the queen up. Be at ease, he whispered. Your husband sent us here. That shut her up, removing his hand from her mouth. She slapped him. Remove your hand, she hissed. Looking over I saw Zevran was squeezing her breast. Zeph, Naisha groaned. He just giggled. Sorry, Kaelin talks so much about her body I just couldn't stop myself. Firm. Oh Zevran. Where is Kaelin? She huffed. We found out about the dungeon, not knowing where you were. We came through 2 different entrances. We came from above, and he came from below. Nat answered. Follow us, we're leaving. What about? Kaelin can take care of himself. We need to leave. If you get hurt, Kaelin will be lost. Naisha pointed out. Raven, how's our exit? Raven, the hero. Honora looked shocked. Green, no one heard the scream, but we should leave. His strange voice came out of his hood. Sky, get the queen. Nat ordered. Sky nodded, scooping up the queen, who yelped and began running out. Unhand me, beast, what even are you? She whispered as loudly as possible. I'm a dragon. Oh, she shut up. Jumping onto the roof, we signaled Dagna for pickup. The car reappeared not too far away, zooming in. What's that? Need a ride? Dagna has come out of her shell over the last 2 months. I can still remember her hiding behind Nick the first time I'd seen her. Climbing on, we began rising and flying away. Honora gripped her seat for dear life. That brings me back. Good job everyone. Mission AC. Zevran didn't get to finish as the earth behind us exploded. Looking back, I found a huge hole in the courtyard. From the hole a beast made of fire flew out of the hole. It was monstrous with flaming wings. Dagna, get the queen out of here. Astral, keep them safe. Zevran ordered before jumping out of the car, floating gently to a rooftop near the beast. Astral hugged Dagna and flew after Zevran. Wait, the queen stopped me from following. My husband, what is a king to a god? The beast roared, standing to its full height, nearly 15 feet. What is a god to a non-believer? Kalen's voice was soft, but I could hear it from almost 100 feet in the air. A glowing ethereal blade wreath in golden flame flew out of the dust cloud, cutting the monster, causing it to scream in pain. King indeed. // 5 minutes ago. Aiden POV. Behind this door lays my vengeance. Mother, Father, give me focus, Maker. If you really hate what the chantry is, give me strength. I tightened my fist around the flaming, poisoning, raging sword of doom. Its might infused my spirit with power. How, I have come. Sten kicked the door into splinter, peppering any fool on the other side with wooden shrapnel. Rushing into the room, we found the corpses of over a dozen people hanging in cages, their blood dripping into the floor leading to the center of the room. Spotting a figure made of black flames and glowing white eyes. Next to it was Hao on the floor with small splinters in his face. Around the room were hooded men and women, all shocked at our entry. For the Maker stands with those who protect the innocent. Ayla chanted. My blade lit up in holy power. The shadow hissed and backed away from the light. Sten and Shale didn't hesitate to kill the closest cultist, causing the others to attack. Some tried to run, but Serda or Nick made a wall blocking the only other exit. A cleric. It hissed. It felt like worms wiggling in my ears. I thought this continent had no clerics. Tell me, child, who is your god? No evil shall escape my sight. Ayla shot a golden beam, forcing it to retreat, hissing the whole time. Rendon, you lied to me. It hissed with rage at Hao. NN know your greatness. Aye. It's not right. Look at it. It's a mistake, a half-elf, an abomination. Please, give me the power to slay this mistake and make your entrance to this realm over the corpse of a cleric of a failed god. Hao threw himself to the ground, prostrating himself in front of this being. The being did get to answer before Jack unleashed a bolt of lightning. It hissed at the holy bolt, freezing at the sight of her. An underchild. Here, who are you? I am Jack of Hope, descendant of Dark Princess Thorn, 57,597 in line to kingship of the Underland, and you're not wanted here. She powered up another bolt. Thorn, he ha 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 ha. What are the chances? I hate her, always going away with everything. The king should have destroyed her long ago. I am Dark Prince Uzara, 92nd in line to the throne, and killing you will make my... He didn't finish as Nick unleashed a blow, covered in black wool, so powerful that the entire dungeon shook, knocking it into the earth so hard it bounced off the floor and across the room. For vermin, you sure talk big. Nick was furious. I have never seen him like this, upset. Sure, annoyed, once or twice. Rage, never. Mortal, it hissed, getting back up. Nu, a plane walker. Your soul will be delicious. Nick waved it over. Come choke on it. How? I want their souls. Do not fail me. Shadows engulfed Hao and the remaining cultist, but unlike Hao, who was laughing, the cultist started screaming in pain. You haven't seen the last of me. It began to fade. Yes, Hao hissed. With this power, I can become king. His voice was monstrous. No, he began to grow and glow. Everyone, back, Nick yelled, making a thick wall, cutting us off from Hao before an explosion rocking the earth. What is a king to a god? Hao screamed. Nick opened a tunnel big enough for us to follow. Kalen took charge, walking calmly with a cold fury. No evil is beyond my reach. Ayla whispered, enhancing the glow around our weapons. What is a god to a non-believer? Pointing his blade forward, shooting out a glowing sword and cutting deep into Hao's new molten skin, causing him to scream in pain. Ayla, power up, I ordered. You're our key to all this. Can you do this? She opened her holy symbol, golden light illuminating her fierce face, and nodded. Serada, you're our heavy hitter. Nick, Alyssa, healing. Sten, Okran, Shale, flank. Theron, Morrigan, Neria, rooftops. Everyone else with me. We moved with lightning swiftness. // Nick POV. Fire Tanaruk. Rendon Hao. Age, 49. LVL, 62. HP, 7,376 8,000ths. MP, 1000. Street, he has become a monstrous fiend. V, he's still being powered by Prince Uzara. Dex, big muscles for his heavy body. Int, rage. Wis, rage. Char, on fire. Luck, he gained a large amount of power. Weakness, madness. Single-minded. Holy magic. Magic weapons. Holy water. Ice. Water. Cursed. Rendon Howe was a veteran of the rebellion of Ferelden, respected for his ferocity at the Battle of White River, but changed after the battle, becoming crueler and crueler. Sometime after the battle, he was contacted by the demon Prince Uzara through his dreams, promising power and kingship for his eternal worship. He hates you. Using earth-bending, I raised the floor to even ground. Leaving an open hole in the battlefield is asking for a fall. Sereda launched herself into the sky with stone gauntlets nearly 3 times her size lit in glowing holy power. Smite. She hit Howe straight on. It seems like Howe doesn't have full control of his new body, but he wasn't down for long, throwing himself into the air only to be tackled by a dragon mid-air and slammed back into the ground. Ra. He lit himself on fire, forcing Sky to jump away. I will make you my slave. He charged Sky only to get a glowing arrow to the eye thanks to Raven shooting from the rooftop. Taking his moment of anger, Sten in his full armor rammed into left thigh, twisting him to his knee. Howe raised his fist to crush him, but a red beam burned through his elbow, thanks to Shale, followed by Okran chopping at his thigh and running off. Vermin. He unleashed a breath of fire, locking their shields together, increasing their magic field of protection thanks to the runes I placed on him. Aidan, Kalen, Duncan, and Alistair raced through the flame, unleashing a fury of slashes as they passed him. While our attacks were beating him back, his new body just kept healing and the fight gained a crowd. At first, I just thought it was Howe's goons, but when I spotted a couple of kids, I knew this was getting dangerous. Smite. Sereda was giving no quarter and Raven's arrows were causing the most damage, using holy power. Ra. I shall rip your souls asunder. He slammed his hand onto the ground, causing a small earthquake, causing those close to him to lose footing, leaving him open to his backhand, launching him away. Alyssa, heal the others, I'll run interference. I dashed forward and unleashed a Haki-infused punch to Howe's chest, pushing him back a single step as the mages shot spells at him from the rooftops. It's one after another with you, vermin. He swung his huge fist at me. Thinking fast, I dug into the ground, avoiding it, and launched myself into the sky like a cannon. Create water. It cost me, but I let loose a river of water right into his face, causing him to scream and thrash around. Water beats fire. Sky used that moment to unleash an ice breath, freezing him in place. For a moment it looked like we had him, only for the ice to crack. Smite. Sereda rejoined the fight by punching the frozen form of Howe, breaking him free and dropping him to the ground. I quickly buried his arms in the ground. Die. His rage is insane. He broke free, but it came with a dislocated right arm. With his new weakness, Nat and Zevran appeared out of thin air, digging their daggers into his right eye and jumping away before he could crush them. Ra. He's losing it. He started breathing fire and stomping around, just trying to hit one of us. In his rage, he started heading to the crowd, who now realized the danger, causing them to run. Looking over, I found a small child on the floor. Fuck. Of course. I got ready to dash to her, but Kalen beat me to her, grabbing the child and jumping away. I'm not going to lie, Kalen looked like a real hero, holy sword drawn, fully armored, flowing cape, and holding an injured child who clung to him in fear. You will not touch my people. He pointed his sword at Howe, which shot an ethereal blade forward, stabbing into the fiend. Howe screamed, swiping at the sword, causing it to dissipate. You are a failure of a king. Only the strong should rule. He screamed, unleashing a cone of fire in his direction. Smite, only for his mouth to slam shut by Sereda uppercutting him. I'm ready, Ayla cried out. I need him to stand still. You heard her. Hold him down, Aiden ordered, charging forward, burying his sword deep into his kneecap. Dropping Hao to his knee, Sten and Okran attacked the other knee, forcing him into an awkward angle, followed by Shale drop kicking him in the chest, knocking him on his back, just in time to see the arrows Lily and Raven rained down on him. Anytime now, Ayla. Something's wrong, the spell needs an incantation, and I have to make it up. I pulled her close and whispered the only incantation I knew by heart. She gave me a deadpan look. Really, Ayla? Aiden ordered. She took a deep breath. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil will escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Maker's light. At first, nothing happened, but before we had to think of something else, the book exploded with power, shooting a beam of light into the sky. For a moment we were all held captive by the light as it reached the clouds and expanded into a golden disk. Night turned to day, and from the disk, a flaming ethereal sword came from the heavens. Distance made it small, but as it got closer and closer, it got bigger and bigger. It was the size of a bus. Without the ability to move, Hao could only see it come down with the fury of an angry god. Yak! The blade dug deep into his chest and into the ground, sticking him in place. "Nu!" he whizzed, looking over to us. "I spit on you. I deserved more." The sword faded and he shrunk back to his normal form. "Damn!" He looked fecked up. "Double tap," I called out. "Try and stop me," Aiden growled, walking over to Hao's body, Alyssa next to him. "I wish Fergus was here. Damn, Kuzlans. Damn, really? Fiend demon. Rendon Hao. HP 10, SHVC 93 RVBQA. MP0, JBB, DFVE FHB. Weakness. Broken body. Cursed. Damn, that transformation really fecked up his body. I could have been a god." Aiden didn't say anything. No last word, no witty one-liner, he just chopped off his head. "You have killed Rendon Hao for 70,000 express. Level up. Rewards. Hao Crest, 50 gold, close friends with the Kuzland clan, hero of Danerum." We jumped back as the visible soul of Hao exited his body before shadow hands came from the darkness, tearing at his soul, pulling him into the dark, all the while screaming. "I warned you, Rendon," the voice of Yuzara called out. "Plane Walker, I will return. Just you wait." His voice and Rendon's soul disappeared. We just stood there for a moment. "You guys are crazy." We looked over to the little girl in Kaylan's arms. Her blonde hair was wild, sticking out all over the place, with two little ears sticking out, marking her as an elf. Ya was all like pow. And zap. And eat sword. "Sarah, what are you doing here?" Raven called out, forgetting who she was at the moment. "Raven, I knew I saw Ya here. Why Ya not tell me you were friends with the king?" "I don't have to tell you anything." She took Sarah from Kaylan's hands. "We should leave this place. I'll take her home. Meet us at Amon's estate. You helped save my wife. You will be rewarded." Kaylan ordered, leaving no room for argument. Raven just nodded and jumped away with a whooping Sarah. What a night. // Don't make me get the hose. I warned. The moment we got back to Amon's estate, Kaylan and Honora have been pawing at each other like wild animals during heat. Escaping the mess that was Hao's compound was rather easy. Any remaining goons weren't about to try and stop us after seeing what we could do, and not wanting to move past a large group of gawking civilians. Well, most of us didn't. Kaylan was in his element, waving at his people, shaking hands, kissing babies, all the things Honora taught him to do in front of a crowd. But the moment he remembered his wife was waiting for him, he took off, jumping from rooftop to rooftop back to Amon's. Alyssa, Ayla, and I reunited with Win and the injured and helped transport him to Amon's estate, where I could get Lina to help with some of their missing limbs, but that was for tomorrow. Right now, I was in Amon's guest room in front of a very thirsty couple that hadn't seen each other in months. For the love of, I pulled out a spray bottle. Back I say. Nick, come on. Kaylan whined, covering his face from the water. Let me have this. You're the one who asked me to be here. scarring my poor innocent apprentice with your adult actions. Kaelin just gave me a thumbs up. At least Honora had the decency to look ashamed. I've made out before ya know, Dagna muttered. See what you've done, corrupted her. I squished Dagna's face. I'm so sorry, my Dagna. As your teacher I have failed to keep you pure. Please forgive me. You're an idiot. I let her go. I smiled at her sass. They grow up so quickly. Love you too. Now, for the love of. I sprayed him again. Horny Mabari, I swear. Now Muzteran, allow me to properly introduce myself. My name's Nick Walters, a son, brother, healer, and this is my apprentice. I motioned to an embarrassed Dagna. Do I have to? I nodded. She let out a sigh. I am Dagna, mage, short, and an adult. I gave her a so-so gesture. You'll get better with practice. I don't want to get better. She sighed. Now Kaelin wanted me to give you a checkup as soon as possible. Personally I would have waited until tomorrow, but he insisted. More like he pounded at my door in Amon's estate, waking me and everyone else in the hall. I would have ignored it, but Sky didn't like her sleep interrupted, and since she couldn't eat Kaelin, she threw me out of the room to get him to stop. And I don't like to suffer alone. Dagna tiredly slapped my shoulder. Ya suck. She yawned. She really has been working hard. I'll make your favorite breakfast. She huffed. Okay, I yelled, trying to keep me and Dagna from falling asleep. I will be having my lovely assistant give you a once-over and tell us what's wrong. Can't you just tell us? Kaelin asked. Sure, and I already know what's wrong. I pointed to my eyes, and it was the truth. Honora was fine for the most part when she was in house. Hospitality. What she did have was the same thing Laura had. Her womb just needed some fixing. But as a teacher, I need to make sure my apprentice learns how to heal properly. Like a test. That got Dagna up and alert. You never know when someone will need healing. She cleared her throat. Muzteran, I will be asking you some questions and giving you a once-over. Honora just nodded. Okay, full name and age. And so the questions began. Like being in a doctor's office, Dagna went over the basics and would repeat some questions to make sure Honora didn't have any memory problems. The full exam took over an hour, but Dagna did it with the utmost professionalism. Kinda boring, but to each their own. Well, Muzteran, you seem to be in top condition. The only thing I found was something with your womb. Damn, am I a good teacher or what? Honora and Kaelin held each other's hands in worry and fear. Wah, what's wrong? Kaelin looked ready to fight something but lost to what it was. Dagna took a deep breath. Your womb is shaped at an odd angle, making it difficult for you to conceive. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it will be a challenge. Is there anything you can do? Kaelin looked crushed. I know I can fix it, but this was Dagna's first time handling a family in crisis. Mr. Terran, be at ease. This is a rare mutation in the female body, but it can be fixed. The fear that gripped Kaelin seemed to drain out of him. I have seen many healers. Why didn't they do anything about this? Honora asked, regaining her queenly aura. Nick teacher's no fool, she answered with a smirk. Damn, who is this punk? She can't be the same girl who... No, wait, she was always like this. She blackmailed me the first time I met her. So proud. Nick will be right next to me and make sure everything goes well. She waved me over and laid Honora on the bed. The procedure went fine. Dagna carefully healed the queen over the next 30 minutes. Healing magic really is overpowered. As long as you know what something was supposed to do, the magic slowly puts things back in order. This is the thing I found most amazing about magic, not the fireballs or death beams or even bending the elements to your will. It was the mundane things that take a long time made easy, the building a house in under a minute, healing without medicine or surgery, and cooking food that can cure malnourishment in less time than it would be otherwise. Magic really was crazy. How is she? Kaelin, that is the 15th time you've asked. You're standing less than 10 feet away. You can see she's fine. Calm down. Did I sound harsh? Yes, but in my defense, it was getting annoying. And finished, Dagna called out, helping the queen to sit up. Giving her a once-over, I found her fully cured of any ailments. Kalen practically threw us away trying to get to his wife, burying her in his arms and chest. My love. Honora caressed his face and took that moment to pinch his cheek like an annoyed mother. Calm down, you big baby. I'm fine. You didn't marry a wallflower. You married a warrior. Disguised as a lady. He finished with a smile so wholesome I needed to put on some sunglasses so as not to go blind. All right, I sprayed him again. We get it. You're in love. Dagna, any final words before we get out of here? No, the procedure went fine and your chances of pregnancy have increased, so be aware of that. She said, walking out of the room with a yawn. Go get some sleep, I ordered, and she flipped me off. This punk. I tossed Honora and Kalen a ring of love. If you don't want to get pregnant right away. I saluted on my way out. They didn't even wait until I was out of the room. Horny dogs. Walking down the hall, I found Jack sitting in front of a fireplace drinking some tea. Jackie, she looked over to me. Oh hey, she sounded upset. What's wrong? I sat next to her and put her on my lap. You hate tea, not enough sugar. Just thinking. She looked back at the fire. I didn't say anything. Jack talked on her own time, and I'd be here to listen. Julie needed someone to bounce questions off of. Yuzara will return, she whispered. We're going to have to fight him again. Have you contacted your gran? I called Ma. I can't exactly call gran in such a low mana area with a serious summoning spell, but I doubt that would do anything. Yuzara was playing in the material plane, most devils don't care about that. At best he'll just get laughed at by the others in the top 100. So we have to handle this on our own? I asked. Permanently killing a devil isn't easy. No doubt. You seem rather calm. Gamer's mind. Nah, we're getting stronger and stronger, and Yuzara seems like the guy who sends minions to do all the hard work. We'll get him. No one threatens the woman I love and gets away with it. She leaned onto me. You're crazy. Crazy for you. She looked at me with a smile and brought me into a kiss. I have my own room. I quickly lifted her and raced to her room. She was giggling the whole way. Lothering. Chantry. The Maker's by my side. The Maker's by my side. The Maker's by my side. Mother Sophia muttered over and over, rocking back and forward, mind broken by the monstrous dark spawn that invaded the village, taking the last of the refugees. I had to. They didn't have enough faith. I had to throw them to the monsters. She muttered, the Maker's by my side. My, what do we have here? The sick voice of Yuzara filled the chantry. Who's there? Sophia jumped. You will not have me. Calm yourself, I'm here to help. Who are you? I'm a servant to the Maker. His voice seemed to ease Sophia. The Maker, yep. He told me you had some problems with a mage. Sophia's face twisted to resemble a monster. The abomination, she hissed. Yes. A-N-R. Finally, this took me forever. Added some more characters, cause. I wanted. Truth be told, I had Ava and Lina in mind for some time and wanted to use them. I also wanted Nick to have an enemy in the future in Yuzara. Also, due to popular complaints, I went back and updated some chapters to fix some problems. Fair warning, I made the mistakes in the first place, so don't expect it to be perfect. I make drawings of this FIC, so if you want to see my DeviantArt page. Link in my bio.